Right, good evening everybody. Thank you for coming in on a Friday evening. I know you'd love to be in the pub. So tonight, finally, we get to talk about our recharge for entry logistics. We have been talking about this for a very long time, so hopefully we shall have some more answers for you this evening. We're going to work through bit by bit. I'm going to do a bit. Camilla's here as well, our head of fundraising and development. She's going to be talking to you all as well, and Josh as well. So the three of us will be going through. So what we're going to do, as there's so much to get through, if we can leave all of your burning questions to the end, because we'll probably answer some of your questions as we go through. So we'll do a big question and answers at the end. Is that okay? Perfect. Okay. So just some context. When we are introducing the charge, it's 5th of October. So that's Friday the 5th of October, which also coincides with the opening of our brand new show, Gainsborough in the Theatre. So Friday 5th of October. Burn it into our minds. And just to reiterate why we are doing this. The Holborn, when we started out, there was a great aspiration for us to be free to enter. But, like many other museums around the country, we are running at a deficit and we receive absolutely no public funding at all. We've looked at all the different ways over the years that we could do this. Even with charging for entry, we still need to be fundraising at least £500,000 a year to be able to run the building and keep it open. Primarily, that's the key, to keep the building open so that people can still view our collection and engage with all the work that we are doing. Over the last few months, we have been sending different things out to you via the blog or via post if we don't use the volunteer website, talking to you about it in briefings, etc. We've been sending you quite robust questions and answers for those people that were going to come into the museum with all those burning questions, so you would have the answer for them. And we haven't had that many. And the people that have been asking, of course, have just been concentrating on how much they're going to be. And actually, the feedback that we've had and the people that have come in who primarily have been asking at the information desk, it's all been very positive. One or two people that still have questions or are not comfortable with it, but overall has been incredibly positive. So those Q&As were very full. I would like you, if possible, over the next few weeks to just go back to them, read through them again, just make sure that you're completely comfortable with everything. But I've just kind of broken down kind of the key points to really remember. And actually, these sentences are basically 4 sentences that actually just say the same thing, really, at the end of the day. Which are, we are a charity, we receive absolutely no public funding. That is absolutely key. There are a lot of people that will say, I can go X, Y, and Z for free, or I pay a donation. Those places will most probably have some kind of public funding. Charging for entry, as I said, is not going to cover the cost of the building. We still need to fundraise at least £500,000 every year to be able to stay open. That is another biggie for us. We can't support free admission anymore without any public subsidy. So these are just breaking down those Q&A, so you just have little tidbits to be able to say when people are questioning. And not only that, just to preserve our independence and just looking at our exhibitions program. And our exhibitions program, which has been so key to our success since 2011, and the level of programming that we've done and the level of artwork that we've been able to not just bring to the Holborn, but to bring to the city of Bath, so people in Bath can see that. If we didn't introduce the charge and we kept going the way that we were, we would have to compromise that program quite massively. And that would be really sad, not just for the Holborn and its reputation, but for all of you and for all of our visitors and everyone in Bath as well. Another key thing, which is we're so passionate about and something we will not lose but hope to increase, is our learning and community engagement project. That is so key to what we do here at the Holborn. We're known widely for especially our Pathways project that we're now in year 3 of, where we've helped so many people, and also our learning project as well. 13,000 people every year
you know, we need to be able to keep continuing doing that. You know, fundamentally, we do great exhibitions. We have a really striking and very interesting collection which will remain at the Art Museum, but also the community engagement work as well. These are the things that we need to get across to people. In terms of pricing, I want to move quite quickly onto pricing because this has been something that has been talked about a lot and everybody asking a lot of questions about it. I wanted to pull out some examples of other places before we get onto our prices. And so it's to remember what we will be charging will include all of the galleries. So everything on the first floor and everything on the second floor. So what would have been our previously the Roper Gallery, the chargeable space, this is all included. So everything upstairs, first floor and second floor is included. So the American Museum, currently charging £14. The Jane Austen Centre, which we know is quite a small little centre in Bath, is £12. Compton Verney, that £15, that is just exhibition and collection. That doesn't include the gardens. So that £15 is just their collection and exhibition. And Woburn Abbey as well, £17.50 for their collection and exhibition. So I've taken kind of the garden prices out. So it's just focusing on exhibitions and collections. So with that in mind, our prices, as we put in the Q&As to you all, our price of £12.50, which includes a donation, can be gift aided as well. So the main price is £12.50, that's your full price. Those people who don't want to make a donation or don't want a gift aid is £11. With that gift aid price, if somebody does gift aid with us, the museum will get £15.64, is that right? Very strange amount. But if they do gift aid, that £12.50 automatically becomes £15.64. So that's quite a big boost in terms of income for the museum. For now, we're still going with our art fund concession, so around about the half price mark for them. NUS card holders, so that's your full-time students and part-time students, receive a concession. 18 to 25-year-olds receive a concession. 18 and under remain free, so they're currently free, they will remain as free. Our partners, who are really important to us, University of Bath and Bath Spa University, we still will continue to do a lot of work with both of those institutions. Yes.
18 to 25. 18 and how much do we pay for 18?
So yeah, 19 to 25.
Sorry.
18 and under, free. So our partner university staff and students, free entry. Accompanying carers, I need to change this. There's been a change in language recently. We used to call them carers and they were accompanying carers. Now they are personal assistants. Coming free. And there is a slight reduction for large groups of 10 or more. In addition, I want to talk through some of the other complimentary certificates that we'll be issuing. Volunteers still can come in free, but you can now bring a friend. So if you want to come in and you're coming with a friend, you get a +1. Our Gardeners Lodge Art Group and Image members and members of Pathways are actually going to have a Pathways Pass, which will cover all of those groups and all of those community groups that we work for. So they will have a pass. They will still enter free. All our members, our patrons, our friends, our contemporaries, they all still get their free entry. Blue Badge Guides and Mayor's Guides, these people are very important to us because obviously they come around, they look at the exhibitions and look at the different things that we have on display, and they will include that in their talks and tours around the city of Bath. Many of them actually ending here at the museum or in Sydney Gardens, where they will be encouraging those groups to come in and use the museum. So they are a very important group to us in terms of promoting what we have here. The Bath Museum's Pass. This has been a long-standing pass. We don't see it that often anymore, but many of you remember 3, 4, even 5 years ago, our Bath Museum's partnership, where we partnered with Bath Preservation Trust, the American Museum. We did a lot of work. We did a lot of work, especially on looking at our audience data, sharing that data, looking at those audience coming into Bath, and specifically looking at museums. So we're keeping that cost for the time being in hope that we actually might start increasing that work moving forward. And then of course, press and VIPs coming in as well. So that is our base entry price. Yeah.
Just raise about questioning press.
Yes, with press people, they're a little bit cheeky. They do come in and they say, oh, I'm press, so I can go in for free. Well, yeah, absolutely, if they are going to be reviewing the show, in which case it needs to be alerted to Katie in marketing that they're here to alert the show. There's a lot of people that carry a press card that aren't here to review the show, but are probably on holiday with their family and being a little bit cheeky. £12.50 for them. So this is our base ticket structure. Okay. However, through all of that, we've had to look at all of the different demographics that not only did we work with, engage with, but looking at the different demographics in Bath, and we still know and understand there are demographics in Bath that still might feel the pinch when it comes to £12.50 or £11. With that said, every single Wednesday from 3 o'clock, we will revert back to our free to entry for encouraging donations. And on our updates, which are, are the last Friday of every month, from 5 o'clock till 9 o'clock, will also be free to enter.
Will they have to pay for a special inscription?
No, please. For everything free, but encouraging the donation. So basically, returning back to our current model, but the Roper Gallery included. We're always going to be working with our partners. We're always going to be looking at things that are happening in the city and trying to identify other times that people will be able to enter the museum in our current guise, which is free to enter but with a donation. I just wanted to highlight one in particular because it's coming up quite soon. The Bath Discovery card holders from the 27th of October right the way through to the 4th of November with their Discovery card will enter free as part of Bath Museum Week. So we will continue to look at those moments. It's always advantageous for us to work with the festivals or other museum partners to find those moments throughout the year where we might revert back to, well, not a normal, but what we've been doing since 2011. So there are going to be those moments where people feel, I don't want to pay, I can't pay. So we do have this to fall back on, especially for local people who come back to us time and time again. Is to reiterate, so do come on a Wednesday afternoon. Logistics-wise, in terms of our lunchtime concerts, which are currently on a Tuesday, we're now moving those to a Wednesday so that people can come, pay, go to the concert, and when they come out, of course the museum is free, so they can roam around at their leisure, go into the exhibition, etc. So things like that will move to those Wednesday moments so that they can come out of what they've paid to go into and enjoy the rest of the museum. So do those people that are really finding it quite hard, do encourage them to come on a Wednesday or to an up late. We're now programming with the university, so lots more being injected into the up lates and increasing the program around the up lates as well. So it won't just be the galleries that they'll be visiting and the exhibition, but there'll be lots of other things that they can engage in and do as well. But also, the other thing that we will be encouraging people to do is become a member of the museum, a friend or two people becoming joint friends. Those prices aren't changing for now, they're staying the same. So it's actually a very good deal for £35, giving that person unlimited entry throughout the year, but also supporting the museum as well by becoming a member. I'm going to hand over to Camilla, who's going to talk more about our memberships and our continued message for support. And then I'll be
Use the magic. Oh yay, great! Hi everyone, I'm Camilla. I'm the head of development here. I've been here about 6 months. Flying past. There's lots of exciting things happening and lots of change. And actually, it is a really exciting time for the holding now. We're kind of having to make some quite fundamental changes, which are really put in place this kind of save our future. So this is all quite exciting and positive, actually. So Spencer has touched on some of this stuff already, but just to reiterate that now, once we start charging, joining as a friend or patron or exhibition circle member, which I'll touch on in a second, will now be the kind of main way that people can just come to the Holborn as they would have before, actually, and just come in and enjoy the space all year round. It says for free, but actually unlimited is a much better word. Which is really great. So when people come to the desk and they're wondering whether to buy a ticket or whether to join, we can now say, you know, you might want to choose supporting the museum, paying your £35 a year or £50 a year, which for £35 it's £3 a month. It's just very, very little. It's a cup of coffee, depending on which Bath cafe you did it. So it's really very little, and what we anticipate will happen is that our membership will rise, which is great for us because it means that we start to build relationships with more people in the city, and more people will kind of hear about some of our news and updates and enjoy their Friends membership across the year. One of the things we are doing, which you may have heard about for those of you who are friends or just in other places, is that they're actually bringing the Friends scheme in-house. And what I mean by that is really kind of current Friends won't see any change to the actual membership itself. What it just really means is that this Friends, which currently operates as a separate charity, we're bringing that charity together with the museum, rather than it kind of existing as something separate. We're all working towards the same cause, which is supporting this amazing museum and this amazing building. So we're bringing some of the administration in-house and some of the finances, and this is in line with so many other museums and galleries across the country. Lots of other people are doing the same, and we've had lots of conversations with other places as to how we do that. So as our Friends won't really see any change, it just means that we're bringing some of that administration into the museum. And one of the things you will see is new prints that we're producing. So you might have already seen our new patrons leaflet, which we made, which is a little bit bolder, some of this design. And we're now going to be producing a new Friends leaflet to match that. So for those joining, you see a new leaflet, it'll be very clear, something that you might want to point visitors towards or give out to people. So that's good, and as part of the new Friends membership, we're introducing direct debits, which we can't currently do. So that's a good thing for the museum. Direct debits are better than standard. So as Spencer said, Friends levels, exactly the same. We didn't want to change too much. That might rise in future, membership levels do change, but at the moment we're sticking with the same amount, so Friends £35 a year, £50 for joint membership, which is 2 people at the same address, and it works out at £3 or about £4 a month. Our patrons group, which is for those who are interested in kind of having a closer relationship with the museum, so for £600 a year, our patrons support us more. We do some different events with them, more behind-the-scenes access, more drinks with Chris and things like that, and more previews and behind-the-scenes news. And then a new thing that we've introduced is a higher-level supporter, which is our exhibition circle with gifts of £3,000 a year. We introduced this a couple of months ago to support our main exhibition programme, because as Spencer said, over the next few years, while we make these changes and we try to build a better future for the museum, the most important thing is that we don't reduce the quality of all of our exhibitions and all of our learning work. So this circle is specifically to support our exhibitions, and as part of that we're offering a behind-the-scenes look at how we actually create, conceive, deliver these exhibitions. So actually our first event next week, we're taking some of our members into the installation of Gainsborough in the Theatre, and we'll be introducing them to our visiting conservator Helen White to talk about some of the checks that she makes on the artworks when they arrive in those amazing crates and go into the exhibition. So they'll see the exhibition before any of us do. But it's very exciting, and it's a very important circle of support. So that's a new thing It's so new that we don't have any print for it yet, but it's something that you will probably see introduced early next year, which is great. And the main selling point for membership really is about two things: helping to support the museum, continue to help us, and then enjoying the museum all year round. There are two kind of sides to it, so I hope that's all fairly. Spencer again has talked about this a little bit, but the absolute key thing is that even with ticket income, we still have to raise £500,000 a year. Fundraising is absolutely essential to the Hub, and as it is with all sorts of different charities, arts charities in Bath, there are so many amazing organisations trying to raise funds in this city, and we're quite a small city. The actual target is £560,000 a year, and that will change. In fact, it's going to go up. That is a figure that allows us to break even. So, as an organisation, we would love to be able to grow, and when people come to us with amazing ideas that we would love to be able to do, the reality is until we raise that figure or more, it's very hard for us to do that. So it's quite a large target, but we do our best, and it's very important. So just some facts and figures. I think for our visitors, sometimes people just have no idea how much it costs to run a building like this. I mean, we're so lucky we have one of the best buildings in the city, but it's grade 1 listed, and we have to clean the windows and clean it every day after the kids and all this everything. So just literally running the building is £200,000 a year, and that's servicing the lift, servicing the fire alarm, doing the gardening, all sorts of things that you just never think of ever. I don't know whether it might be useful. I could maybe put together a kind of sheet of examples that maybe Spencer and Josh could send around to you all, because it's really stuffing, actually. But people just don't realise. And one of my kind of quests is to make that more accessible to our visitors, because it is actually quite interesting, some of the behind-the-scenes stuff of this museum. And the learning programme as well. It actually costs £196,000 to deliver every year, but we have to fundraise over 100,000 through donations, charitable trusts and grants, business sponsorship, our wonderful university partners, fundraising events, legacy gifts that people leave us in their wills, which are amazing, and our memberships. So it's one of the things that Chris, as our director, is very focused on. We're very lucky to have him because he's very tuned into fundraising, which is wonderful, and my role. But it's also kind of all of our roles, really, in thinking about the museum as a charity, and never really forgetting that. And never really forgetting that we never know who walks in the building. You just don't know. Well, you probably do know because you see them, but you just don't know. So anyone can donate and support us by joining as a friend, either a friend or a patron or an exhibition circle member. Making a donation, our boxes are throughout the building. We're actually changing some of the messages on those boxes to make them a little bit more obvious and inspiring. Or people, love to support specific things. So actually, if you really want to help us clean the windows, which costs £1,500 a year, isn't it? You can say that to us. This donation is for this, or all the schools workshops we do, or a particular exhibition, or some conservation work, or every crate that we have to specially make to transport casing costs £500. All of these things. If anybody ever asks you or is interested, do feel free to take their details and pass them to myself or Ollie in the development team. We're in the tiny corner in the back of the house. Finding behind on or email or tell Spencer or Josh. Logistics.
So, thank you. So that actually really runs on nicely, because I just want to go over a few things about the logistics in the gallery and that kind of message of support. Now, when the announcement at the beginning of the year to volunteers that we were going to go charge for entry, happened, and also a lot with the staff changes that are going on recently, there were a few people that raised eyebrows and said, you know, will the Holborn Museum still need volunteers, or our role is going to be made redundant in some way? No, that's not the case at all. We are, like we said, just still a charity. And as you've known through all the figures that I always share every year, normally around Christmas time, because it's a nice round off of the year, that the Holborn Museums collectively, you know, the Holborn Museum volunteers collectively give just over £250,000, you know, pounds worth of time to the museum. So that's what the museum saves every year by having such a wonderful program and of volunteers. Yeah. So volunteers are still needed even in this new charging regime. Entry stickers. So you might be asking, how are we going to police all of this, and how are we going to let know, you know, if people have paid to get into the exhibition? Basically, everyone who goes into the galleries, everyone who buys a ticket, everyone who is a museum member, shows their card at the front desk, is a guest or VIP, that will all be sorted by the staff who are going to be meeting their guests, and then they're going to be going to the front desk and giving their guests a sticker. And also all groups that come through the front desk as well will all be given a sticker. Unfortunately, I don't have a prototype of the sticker ready to show you yet because it's still being produced. But they will be about this big-ish, and the colours on the prototypes designs have been quite sort of contrasting colours, so they're easy to spot. So basically, when you're in the galleries, all you need to really know is that if someone's got a sticker, that means they've paid, or they've shown their cards, they've produced the fact that they have membership, and that sort of thing. So that's all good. That you can then completely concentrate on the visitor services side and security side of messaging, and also on those key moments about donations as well. All staff and volunteers must wear badges whilst upstairs as well. So, you know, sometimes with a lot of the staff that are in the offices, it's not often that you get formally introduced, like things like this where they do training, and it might be that new staff come in and things like that. So being that you might be here for 4 hours a week, you might not know who everyone on the staff team is. So it's key that staff do wear their badges as well. And for volunteers as well, we are going to be upping the amount of badges that we do order every month with new volunteers. You might be asking, what if someone comes into my gallery and they don't have a sticker? And it could be that they haven't paid. The thing that we would like you to do moving forward is, obviously things can change, and I know that Spencer will be taking over the programme and things might change in the future. But for now, what we'd like is for you to not be sort of aggressive to that person if you see they don't have a sticker, not, you know, going up to them and going, you haven't paid, get downstairs. Nope. What we would like you to do is be a little bit more tactful and basically say, it seems your sticker's fallen off. If you produce your receipt, because people when they pay at the front desk will still get their small little square receipt that they've got, you know, general admission as well as the sticker. So you can go, well, it seems your sticker's fallen off. If you'd like to go downstairs, you can produce your receipt and you'll be able to get another sticker, sort of thing. So that's what we'd like you to try for the first few weeks, and we'll see how that goes. Again, it will be a sort of working with the type of people we get in and things like that, but I think that's the best way to go about it, because I think it really is off-putting if you're getting someone coming in and sort of accusing of not paying, and it could be that they've just forgotten, that, you know, it could be that they're still, you know, for the past couple of years we've been saying to friends that produce their cards at the front, you know, if it's very busy at the front desk, over the past couple of years we've been saying, it's okay, you can show that on the top floor and you'll be let in like it's a sort of VIP card. But even that we're going to have to get used to, you know, putting friends through on the front desk and giving them a sticker so you can all see that they have made their general admission. So, information about what's been going on recently. So we have, at the beginning of this week, we've had information desk volunteers in for a first round of training. So it was quite an intense training about the ways in which we've changed the system on the front desk. Over the past couple of months, we have used a system on the front desk that's called General Admissions, that is part of our data box system that we have on there. And it's a really easy sort of point and click, almost like Fisher-Price buttons on there, and it's a much better way of getting people through the door. Not only that, but Spencer has figured out a way that we can retrieve information on every ticket that we sell as well. So every ticket that people come in, we are going to ask for people's name and postcode so we can get a better understanding of data and of our audience. And I know that some people might feel uncomfortable about that because there's a lot in the news and a lot with the tourism industry as well about GDPR and personal data. All of that will only be used by the Holborn Museum, and it's for us to know about people, our audiences, and where we can maybe, make better strategies in our marketing and things like that. But if people don't want to give their first name or their postcode, that's fine. We'll just put it under doors like we regularly do now. However, the ask, that's what we are training our information desk volunteers to do as a first thing. So yes, we've also at the front desk introduced another till point because of course we're going to be focusing a lot on memberships. And as you may know, if you've seen busy points at the information desk, that with one till, you may be processing a visitor coming through to the exhibition or for general admission, and then someone comes with their friends form and says, I want a friends membership. That actually takes about 5 minutes to really process the friends membership, all the data that you've got to put in, things like that, into the system. So in that respect, it's much easier if we've got two systems, because we were just working with one and we'd have to wait until this till was free and that sort of thing. So we've got two till systems there now. And again, there's going to be room for change. There might be different ways that we may be working, but for now we've definitely got a structured way to work to how we think it's going to pan out. We are looking for more information desk staff as well. So if you do feel like the galleries, you're just looking for something a bit different, then we are more than happy to factor in time to train volunteers on the information desk as well. Welcome volunteers. Now this is something that I've mentioned in newsletters for the past couple of months and in briefings, but it hasn't actually come to fruition yet. But welcome volunteers, it's gone through a different names over the past couple of months. But it's that ground floor volunteer who will be welcoming people in. It'll be a very fluid volunteer in terms of you'll be walking in between the front doors, the bottom of the stairs, and also the lift area as well. You'll be sort of going in a sort of mapped out a small triangle of the areas that you'll be going to. The information desk that's on the top floor, that's actually coming down into the neck, and it's going to have a big information eye, not an eye, but an eye, letter I, on it. And that will be a sort of base for that volunteer to maybe grab print if they need it, or to have a sit down as well, because we will still have that chair. When we don't have a welcome volunteer, for shorter volunteers, we will move that desk, sort of make it so it's not in anyone's way, move that desk to the side. It will still have information on it, and we'll actually just put all of our leaflets on it, because it's still doing the exact same job. It's giving out information. It's letting people know, welcoming people in. There is that thing as well about the directions of which audiences are going to come in from as well. You could very much have people coming in from the cafe and go down in the lift and then come up, and they won't have a sticker, they won't pay. But again, that's when your roles in the galleries can come in and you notice people coming down, and you can just ask them to go back downstairs. I very much think we're going to get into a rare situation where anyone's absolutely refusing to go downstairs at that point, but if that does happen, please do call for the BSAs, and we will be there as support to talk them down and get them understanding the new way of how this is working. gallery stewarding. So this is something I went into in the last training, so apologies if this is sort of repeating anything, but I do just want to make it clear that still your roles are in the galleries are still extremely important. Looking at a lot of our research at the beginning of the year when we made this decision, we looked at other museums that went from free to charge for entry. And they actually found that in those studies that the dwell time of visitors was a lot longer. So I think in all of the galleries, you're going to have the chance to have much more interesting and much longer conversations with your visitors. So that's a really positive thing, I think. A lot of these things that you're seeing here, this was all research done from a visitor mapping volunteer that was actually a Bath Spa University placement that we've had in recently. You might have seen Chantal Raybould in the galleries with you over the past few months. But she's been watching how visitors interact with the galleries and looking at the certain points where they might dwell for a longer time, or certain areas where they think they might actually go in and then come back out because they're not sure about the signage or they're not sure about where they're supposed to go. So all of that research we are using to inform the things that we are telling you basically as well, and the different ways of stewarding in those galleries. The other thing that I'm sure you'll be glad to know is that it's the PC under the mezzanine stairs, the lovely interactive. Chantal did witness that a lot of people were not engaging with that, and the decision has been made, I think I'm right, in that PC will come down to the neck area, so it's going to be a lot more of a sort of engagement area in the neck, and I think in the future, funding permitted, that will be more of a more relaxed area, I think in Chris's mind as well, where there might be a bookshelf with old exhibition catalogues and things like that. So I think that's the way that we'd like to move forward with it. The Brownsall Gallery and the top floor. So something to always bear in mind up there is that adults tend to have a lot longer dwell time in there. And when you have children in there, the first thing they go to is the harp. I'm sure you'll have noticed. But just to point out that there's actually quite a lot of things in there that you can try and engage the children in. Not only the animals that are in there, the dog in the painting right in front of you, the Wollaston, the dog in the marble sculpture, but not only that. Does everyone know about Wollaston's foot and the changing perspective? If not, the next time you're in the pitch gallery, I will show you. But basically, it's a bit like when Mona Lisa's eyes follow you around the gallery. If you look at Wollaston's foot that's just edging out here, you start on the right, you look at it, and then you you walk, but you keep your eyes fixed on it. His foot will actually turn towards you, and it's quite a fun magic trick that you can show children. And I've literally had times that I've come in there and had the children lining up and marching on there going, watch the foot, and they literally are amazed with the sort of the magic that goes on with the perspective there.
Before I get on to questions, I'm just going to